Hello, how's it going? It is time to do another warm-up. Yeah! How many warm-ups haven't I done? When will it end? It will never end. Hey Amir, how's it going? I will never ever run out of, I think, warm-up ability. That I can always do, but sometimes it's just... The thing is, if I've been doing it for this long, it would be extremely idiotic of me to stop doing the warm-ups, you know? If I sound more enthusiastic or enthusiastic. I don't know what the enthusiastic for that, or is it enthusiastic? No, I'm all good. Hey Zaylin, how's it going? So I jotted down some basic ideas of the hero card on the Discord. So if anyone wants to read that or suggest things, I'm all up for it. We can craft this journey together. But yeah, so if you want to go and read and have a think, do so. Hey, Dr. Sheldon, what up? Yeah, let's. Any suggestion on what I should paint today? By the way, give it to me. Give it to me raw. Hey, Cameron Brown, how's it going? There is an old Method Man song. If you ever listen to hip hop. I used to love listening to Wu-Tang Clan back in the days, and my favorite of them was Method Man. He had this really cool way of rapping. Taxes paying cat. Taxes paying cat. Cameron. Oh, you silly bugger. But alright, taxes paying cat. Dream Eater. Hey Jiwook, welcome to Discord, by the way. I saw you join in. Lovely work. So we can't spend too much time. So we got 2 topics. Can I have a third topic? I mean, if we don't get a third, okay, we got 3. So we're gonna split the dice on the 3. So it is taxes paying cat. Congrats, Cameron Brown. You're getting your taxes paying cat. It should be tax paying cat, right? To have it correct. Oh, we need to add your name so people will know what a interesting person you are. So we know who to blame, right? Hey, Captain Boss, Lauma, I mean. All right. Before I start, I'm going to start the timer. But what I will do is show you this thing. Pretty cool thing from a friend of mine. Let's watch it while I start the timer and paint. Tax paying cat. Do you guys hear it? You don't.
Entirely creative.
Okay, now you should hear it.
I'm Goro Fujita, and I'm an art director at Facebook working on Quill. The Last Oasis is a first-of-its-kind VR narrative entirely created in Quill, an experience I designed specifically for the Oculus Quest. For me, it was always a dream to be able to dive into my own paintings or dive into other people's paintings. And with Quest, you remove the wires. You become tetherless, right? Which means you can freely now move around the space.
Oculus Quest is a standalone mobile VR headset that is completely untethered. There are no wires, and everything that you need for compute is directly in the headset itself.
I believe virtual reality is super exciting, especially for storytelling. For the first time, we can use virtual reality to bring people into different places which were painted by someone.
Usually I create a
That's his
painting and I
voice,
choose my
or what do you mean?
compositions. This was more about like how do I design for space and how can I create different emotions
Whose voice?
in each space. So I used color language, different lighting. So when you dive into a new space, you feel different. It's not just a painting anymore. You can actually send people into your mind. And I think that's like the most powerful thing for an artist I could have never dreamt of doing. It is the purest form of the artistic vision
The VR
that
man.
you can experience in
Goro.
VR.
Goro Fujita. It's an old friend of mine. He was a teacher as well. Oh, Amir. Oh, really? That's a shame. But yeah. It's a really interesting, I think, VR. If they sort out with Quest, that VR Quest Quill, with a wireless head device, I think that gotta be the future, because you can't be bothered being like tethered to this machine. It's really annoying when you do VR. Cameron, no. Maybe it's just. I usually do this, so it's thinner. Maybe I just had it bushier. I don't know. I don't do anything with my beard. Or maybe it's a great beard day. Who knows? Hey, Bramcells, how's it going? Hey, Quentin. I was screaming over the Alps, Quentin. Hello. Anyways, I was just saying, being hooked up to the VR device is a really awkward thing. It's really off-putting in that sense that it's not a free thing. You know, like if you would be painting in 3D, you just hold the mouse, right? And everything else is, the cables is sorted. You don't need to worry about like moving your hand and it's tangled in the wires. Quentin! And I think with that Quest device, where you don't need wires, I think is going to be the way to go. And for creativity, VR, as you know, a lot of these is done in 3D, and it's a little bit clunky. It's a little bit awkward, but it could also. I mean, I didn't experience it for long, because I only tried it a little bit, and it. You always have to do things in planes, kind of three-dimensional planes. Hey, Spacey Latino Live. How's it going? Hey, Bram. Yeah, man. It's our morning coffee routine. Every morning we hang out and talk shit. It's great. Yeah, it's Bram. It's a good coffee moment. Um, as I was saying, um, if they sort that out, I think it's going to be a really interesting device, a really interesting experience. But I think, like I said, if they sort the interaction in 3 dimensions out with the program, it'll be really, really good fun and like how to implement it. That being said, I did try what was it? Medium? Is that what it's called? Um, a VR ZBrush, more or less. And it was really cool. It was quite interesting, and the problem I felt with the VR, uh, at least those goggles I tried at THU, uh, is that it's a little bit blurry. It's not like super sharp, and you could definitely feel you're really close to a display. Um, and you can see the resolution of the screen quite significant because there isn't sharpness enough. There isn't that pixel perfect like crispness, right? And that for me ruined the immersion because it looked like, oh, I'm back in the 80s on playing on my what's it called, those old school TV with the light tube in it. CLR. Hellraiser, yeah, absolutely. I think that is a huge off-putting thing for me. I didn't like that. That was like, okay, I see the benefit of a 3 dimensional workflow. For me, it wasn't alien at all to start creating in 3 dimensions, and I did quite well in that sense for my first 15 minutes ever. I did manage to create something that was really good for the if you consider that I had no idea about the program. I have never done it before, yet I managed to create something. So like that, with that in mind, if you would spend more time with it, you would be really good quite easily because it's intuitive. It is yes, it's a bit technical, but it's also not technical because of the intuitive aspect. Hellraiser, yeah, no, I don't think so either. It's that technical, it's that resolution that's I think uh, is really damaging. Because I think if you would spend more time in it, your eyes would die, and it worries me, for example, um, with these artists that does a lot of VR, what it does to their eyes. Uh, Not so much like radiation, but the fact that you can't focus correctly, and you just gotta kind of you gotta have to half look at something and assume the sharpness, right? And I think I could feel my eyes working really hard to try to counter the blurriness by working harder. And like I said, I only did it for 15 minutes, my first 15 minutes, so I wouldn't know how it feels to sit for hours. But I'm guessing that it makes your eyes really, really tired, really, really fast. And I think that's the problem for the longevity of VR, for the accessibility of VR. I think that's the biggest problem. So this Quest, if they sort out at least the cables, it's a step in the right direction, right? But yeah, they still got that resolution issue. Yeah, motion sickness. I could see that too, because there is a kind of wobble in the camera, because there is no, like, I think the humans, even though we turn, the refresh rate is so high that there's no lag, and also there's no jitter. And I instantly noticed this in VR. I don't get seasick, but I instantly noticed that, like, when you tilt the head, the refresh rate, or like, it's something messing with the equilibrium. I think that's the issue. But that being said, I still think it's the future. The problem, hey, of Woody Breakfast. I think the problem that VR currently is facing, and it's a big problem, is what's it called? Amount of people using something. Install base. The biggest issue is install base. Cameron, yeah. The poor cat has to pay taxes. Anyways, it's the install base for more than one reason. One reason is you can't market a lot of products and or push products out because there's not enough people buying it to make it marketably viable. Is that the word? You know, if you, it's, I mean, I can make an indie game, sell it on iOS, I'll get thousands of sales, easy, even if the game is shit, you know, because of the install base. Everyone has an iOS device, more or less. So you have a chance of sales. But the problem now with VR is like, oh, look at this amazing VR game. How many have VR? Like, it's just enthusiasts that have VR, and that's the issues. Like, the scope is limited, which in return brings up to another point why it's working against them, is that in order for something to grow to the product it needs to be, there needs to be people using it in order for them to realize what the market is after. But if no one is using it, there is no market, and then in return they can't adjust the product. Cameron Brown. For me, one of the issues is also like, who was it that mentioned that they sweat when they use VR? And at certain places, they have antibacterial wipes that they use in between clients. And I think that's great because it's skin to device, right? Some places, they just hang the device on the wall and then the next person puts it on and it's this mushy, juicy experience. Hey Janae, how's it going? Concept Sam, yeah, I think so because it's you have spatial awareness. Cameron Brown, all right, that's cool, that's good. Yeah, there are some VR cafes over here as well, which is great. It's good for the future. But yeah, it's early days, and I think it's an issue. There's some issues with it, and like um, who wrote Hassel? Over the breakfast, maybe. Anyways, it's too much of a project to use, to buy. Oh yeah, Cameron Brown, absolutely. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think the experience of VR is absolutely you can't get that experience of immersion through any other technological means of literally being transported into another world. Hands down, the most strongest experience I've experienced in games. Like, yeah, you if you play a game, you project yourself into the digital world through the two-dimensional means, right? Onto a screen. But with VR, you gap that. You are actually, you hijack your senses that you are there, which doesn't happen in any other way. I mean, like, yeah, I've been complaining about VR, this and that and this and that, but the actual experience of VR is second to none. Like, I touched on this when I got back from THU, but I actually had sensation of potential physical harm of heights in a VR world. So what happened was I was like playing around with this demo that they had, where they had created a VR area where they showcased the competition entries and so on. And it was like on a cliffside with caves and dragons and magical creatures and so on. And you walked around this world, and I was messing around by trying to climb the rocks and trying to find locations I could get to. And I found a place. I walked up to the edge, and I wanted to get to that other ledge over there with a gap in between. And I was on a block, and I literally took my foot out. The distance my brain told me where the edge was, I put my foot down, and I started leaning forward. And I felt like, oh, like this is a place where I shouldn't be messing around with because I'm really high up. And I felt that surge, you know, like that stomach feeling of, oh, I'm really high up now. And I felt it instantly. And I removed myself from the experience by acknowledging it. And I said, holy, you know, like I actually felt scared of heights. And I had that surge, that's the sensation of heights you get when you're high up. Like this, oh, like the whistling of the butthole as you realize you're really high up. I got that feeling. And that was the first VR experience where I was actually somewhere else. And when you're playing games, yeah, you can have that experience of a insane scenario of you're really high up, but it's never you. It's always the projection experience, and you're experiencing it third person. Hey, Lukimu, welcome. Good morning. Avoid breakfast. Yeah, that too. I mean, yeah, it's a cheap trick because it's a ingrained survival response in our brains, right? Don't mess with heights. You know, everyone knows that if you mess with heights, there's a huge chance of you're not making it. And it's even for the idiots out there who try not to, or don't realize that it's dangerous. It's inbuilt in the brain that, you know, come on, don't mess with heights. You'll die, right? So that's one of the cheap tricks. That's why like horror is so fun. It's fun to watch as well because it's an ingrained survival mechanism of the scary monster in at nighttime. But still, regardless of that fact, I love that sensation, that actual physical, real world sensation of what am I doing up here? You know, this is a gamble of like my survival, right? That's not a very easy emotion to produce, and you get it almost for free because of the sensation of virtual reality. And that at that moment, I was really impressed by it. The physicality of VR is amazing in the sense of three-dimensional space, awareness of depth. It's second to none. Spicy Latino, that's hilarious. Brab cells, yeah, I've seen that VR stuff as well, porn VR. Um, and that's definitely you hijacking one of those prime primeval, is that the word? Drives of people, and you can elicit a response quite easily because it is so ingrained in human behavior. That is like it is like cheating because you're just hijacking the senses. But regardless, your experience of that's going to be profound because of the sensation of spatial awareness, depth, and so on. Hey, Ricky. A voodoo breakfast. No, I haven't watched VR porn. That's what that's not what I'm saying. I watched a documentary about it. And also, porn is nothing special. It's like without anything. It's if you overuse it, it's really bad. Porn can be interesting, but so also drinking alcohol is really bad if you do too much. Walking, exercising is bad for you if you do it too much. Anything is bad if you do it too much. If it's consensual, videoed sex, yeah, why not? There's nothing bad about it, per se. Cameron Brown, yeah, he does it. It's like, what are you talking about? I need to pay taxes on my mouse? What the? Bram. Yeah, porn is always there. But like I said, porn is always gonna be there because it's such a basic function of the human. You can never get away from it. Same with fear, happiness. The sex is always gonna be there. It's like one of the basic responses in a human. But then, yeah, you can make also very shit porn, literally as well, literally shit porn, which I don't really think is needed. For me, all these extremes is like I always think about people lying, and if you lied once, you gotta lie for the lie, and then you have to continue lying because you already started lying and you lied about not lying, and then the lie just keeps on coming. Same with with overdoing something. Let's say you overdo porn, then watching the porn is nothing special anymore. Then you need porn that porns the porn, and then you need the porn that porns the porn, like a porn. It just keeps on moving up and layer on layer, right? Because you messed up in the first place. Now, one occasional lie also doesn't hurt, right? If you're living too much, I think life, it's okay. You can do life a lot. Cameron. Rip. All right, time's up. Finally, Cameron, you have your goddamn tax-paying cat. Was it as you expected it to be? Are you happy? Are you going to stop suggesting the topic now? Cheers, Zealand. It's okay. I think proportionally it's a little bit messed up. This one eye is messed up. I think cat proportionally it's a little bit, I don't know. It's at least something. Ricky, yeah. Cameron Brown suggested the tax-paying cat, and there you go. He pays the taxes with the rats. Cameron Brown, you're free to suggest anything you want. Who should we raid? Who's doing something cool? 1D Tran? What are you drawing, sir? Pixel art. No, he's hosting someone. Let's see here. Who can we raid? Building a location for Unreal Engine short film. That could be pretty cool. What are you up to, sir, madam? Huh. Okay. Okay. Let's raid Shluade. Shluade? Lade? Shluade? What was it? Shluade. All right. So we're gonna raid this person. I have no idea. Haven't switched the sound on, so I don't know what's happening over there. But yeah, have a great weekend, everyone. I'm probably gonna be streaming over the weekend. And have a great good night's sleep if you're in the western part of the world. Have a great day if you're in Europe, Asia. I don't know. You're probably in the future. You guys are the best. Outro time, toodles.